do want to start with Dr. Bridges, and she will get into her presentation.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Again, I am Dr. Bridges with Keep Jackson Beautiful, and thank you so much for this opportunity to be here to speak with you this morning. I want to talk a little bit about building reciprocal local partnerships and what that looks like for us as a nonprofit in Jackson, Mississippi. So I'll give you a little bit about the history of Keep Jackson Beautiful. It started in 1964 with local and business leaders. They wanted to get together and they wanted to encourage and empower the Jacksonians to take part or pride in the community. So what they did was they created Keep Jackson Beautiful. And what we do is we have a lot of different programs that we work and we partner with the community in to make sure that we keep Jackson beautiful. Some of the areas are we do litter prevention. We have an eco ambassador program where we work with high school, middle school, and even we're going into the elementary where we're teaching children, youth, and young adults about the importance of the ecosystem, horticulture, different learning in that capacity. And then we also have our Jackson Recycling Program. And that's a program that we are excited about and we're happy about because we're seeing this program and it's growing. I've been with the organization since February, and I'm very excited about what I've seen so far with Keep Jackson Beautiful. So what makes our community unique? Our community has overcome a lot of adversity. We've had a lot of structural issues with our infrastructure, our water infrastructure, which causes a lot of problems for some of our Jacksonians in surrounding areas. I have a property in Mississippi, and I was one of those individuals that was affected by this water crisis that we had in Jackson. We were without water for a month and a half. So we have new mayoral candidates that are vying for this position as for the mayor, so that we can get this infrastructure problem taken care of. So I wanted to give you all just a little bit about our core programs and our initiatives. Our Jackson Recycling Program aims to revitalize the recycling efforts in our city. Our city in 2018 shut down the mobile recycling program. So Jackson and what Keep Jackson Beautiful has done has we brought that recycling initiative back to the forefront of our individuals or our community leaders. We have our Eco Ambassador program, which I told you about a little bit earlier. We have Adopt a Spot, which allows our business and neighborhoods to come in and adopt those particular areas that they promise that they will keep beautifying throughout the year. And then we also have our cleanup initiatives where we work and we partner with Jackson neighborhood associations and different civic leaderships in those areas. And they host cleanups throughout the city. And we work with them on providing them the tools that they need to clean up those areas. So some of the challenges that we have in Mississippi, I want to show you a video. And in this video, it'll show you a lot of what Jackson has overcome, a lot of the adversities that we've and challenges that we've had. So while they're playing that, I want you to listen for how many times you hear the word adversities inside of this video.
As it is.
Dr. Bridges, is the water we're looking at because of the broken pipe or because of rain?
So it's because of the broken pipes within the system, within Jackson. Because of the type of natural resources that we have many different types of soil. So we have natural clay, we have a lot of different soils in the area, and that's causing a lot of problems with our water infrastructure in the city.
In 2022, Jackson, Mississippi's residents lost access to safe, clean drinking water.
The city of Jackson remains without significant water pressure, and in some parts of the city, residents have no water at all.
Me as a parent, I'm gonna do whatever it takes for us to survive in these water crises.
It was another blow for a city that had been hit hard by COVID and a sputtering economy.
The majority of the people in the city of Jackson, they feel hopeless.
People have not had access to clean, safe drinking water.
The citizens, they struggled a whole lot.
You have a lot of people who have different economic statuses that couldn't afford clean drinking water.
I'm not able to cook like I want to cook due to the water crisis. And I'm just eternally grateful that everyone is out trying to help.
That crisis brought the city together.
Facing uncertainty over their water safety, the Jackson community mobilized to resolve the crisis and sought help from others.
So we're trying to put the care back into our citizens to want to beautify their environment and keep it beautiful.
Niagara came in and came to our aid and brought thousands and thousands of bottles of fresh water that residents needed.
The community wanted to bring back Jackson's recycling program, which had been disbanded in 2018.
What Keep Jackson Beautiful has done over the last 2 years was to reinitiate a recycling program that we lost in 2018.
Keep Jackson Beautiful has spearheaded the effort along with Jackson residents, City of Jackson, and several other partners, including Niagara and Replenish.
Through public and private partnerships, Keep Jackson Beautiful is taking shape.
So far, the public and private sites that we have collected over 17,000 pounds of recyclables.
Those public-private partnerships are essential in recycling.
We just need to have these partners to come in play so that we can make Jackson the place that it needs to be.
Everybody wants to be in their silos. Hey, I did this, I did that. But when we work collaboratively and go towards the same common goal, that's when magic happens.
Today, Jacksonians receive critical support thanks to partnerships built by community organizations like Keep Jackson Beautiful.
This is our capital city, and it needs to be a positive representation of our entire state.
It's important to keep Jackson beautiful so that we can offer our residents a clean environment.
We can't do it alone. The citizens, everyone has a role to play.
Behind me is a recycled structure for water bottles only. I'm so proud to be taken care of, digging in it and making sure the right things are in there ready to go.
You know, I feel that I belong in Jackson, this community, and I want to do all I can to bring attention to positive things in this community.
And we keep doing it over and over again, showing up for people and helping them when they don't think we can help them.
I want to keep Jackson beautiful.
So in that video, you saw my predecessor, the former executive director, Alicia Crudup, and a few of our board members that were inside of that video as well. What we have done is we've partnered with different local organizations to be able to enhance our recycling program. And as you saw on there were 4. We've now expanded to 8. We have 8 sites where we're receiving recycling throughout the city.
Gotta get your picture back up there.
And we're excited about that because what we've seen our Jacksonians show up and they've shown out. These are 2 of the sites that the former ED that she had, and she worked with some of the Niagara staff here to put in place. And they're fun and they are wrapped 4 different areas. We have one location, which is the Jackson Zoo. And then we have the other, which is the Smith-Will Stadium. Those are our 2, I call them containers, because they're able to hold up to more than 60,000 bottles. at one given time. So we have our, it's set right outside the zoo. So when the individuals come into the zoo, they're able to recycle, and we educate them on the importance of recycling. These are the other two structures that we have throughout the city. Well, the other structure that we have throughout the city. I call them hubs. They're recycling hubs because they're kind of like little bus stops where individuals are able to pull up to in their vehicles and just empty their bottles in. Sometimes we do ask that they have them in bags so that we're able to collect them and make sure that they're not putting trash in. But they do a really good job of making sure that they are recycling inside the hubs. So we have 2 containers and we have 6 hubs throughout the city. I did a little research and we were recycling by age, zip code, and then by participants. So what we looked at is the zip code of the the individuals who recycle, and we looked at their age. I've been receiving a lot of phone calls from our seniors who, if you look on our containers, the way that we're tracking is there's a QR code that they scan and we receive information so that for data purposes. But a lot of the seniors are struggling with that because sometimes they're at the age where they just want to recycle. They don't want to go through that whole process. So what we're doing is we're putting some things in place. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we go out and we do curbside where they're able to come up and we put their recyclables in. We collect their information and their age, still for data purposes. But we want to make sure that we're connecting with our senior population since we see that they are the ones that are participating more. And we're encouraging our millenniums and our Z generations to recycle. So we will be going into the colleges and the high schools as well to educate them. So what is the meaning of reciprocal partnerships? We know that it's important for us as a nonprofit organization to go out into the community because this is how we're able to get the message out. We're able to tell and inform everybody about our programs, our initiatives, who we are and what we do. Our reciprocal partnerships means that we're not just receiving money and giving a service. It's a line of communication. It's a relationship that we're building. And we are very excited and we capitalize on the relationships that we have with them. And because of those, some of the benefits from those reciprocal partnerships are that they provide growth opportunities for both parties. We're not just growing as an organization. The organizations that are investing in us, we're giving them information and tools that they need to be successful as well. We're building collective intelligence that fuel innovation and enhance problem solving. We enhance industrial reputation by aligning with replicable organizations and also organizations that understands our mission and our vision and what we're doing in the community. And we foster mutual respect, which creates a sense of transparency. It cultivates a culture of support, empathy, and understanding. So what make our partnerships work? We have clear mission alignment. We trust and we're committed to what we do. We have defined roles, which means, of course, you all know that if you don't have clear roles, everything kind of gets blurry. So we make sure that we keep that line of communication open, that everybody understands what lane that they're driving in. It's a mutual benefit for the both parties. Again, open communication. It's community-led approach. We listen to our community. We don't tell them, we listen to them so that they can tell us because every voice matters. And then we celebrate the achievements that we have. Who's participating and what expertise and contributions do they do? So we partner with city officials, local businesses and affiliates. We are one of the oldest affiliates of Keep America Beautiful. So with that, we have to make sure that we maintain those relationships. And then we're even older than our affiliate, Keep Mississippi Beautiful. There is an affiliate in every state. And because we've been there since 1964, Keep Mississippi Beautiful was founded in 1984. So we have a little leg up on them. We always hold them and tell them that we're the superiors, but we all know that's a little joke that we have on the inside. We also work with our schools and our local churches, and then our residents of Jackson. Each individual role is important and it's essential to what we do. Every voice matters. When we sit around that round table, we want to listen to them because we want to make sure that we're putting these recycling hubs and these programs in place for individuals that are going to utilize it. We restore the pride in our community. One of the things that Mississippi that I found, and I traveled around a lot, I've kind of been out of Mississippi for about 23 years. Coming back is that our Jacksonians and our Mississippi take pride in what they do. They're not gonna let anybody just come in and tell them what to do. They take pride in how their yards look and how their community looks and how their city looks and how it's ran. So they're very vocal. And if you come and you listen to them, you'll hear it. And it requires full commitment and active participation from everyone involved. So, as I told you all, I'm the new executive director of Keep Jackson Beautiful. So my vision for our sustainability moving forward is to strengthen the public education and outreach. I want to be inside those schools and those colleges, working with those senior citizens, working with everybody in the community to let them know that it's important to take pride in their community. We're making a really big impact on our ecosystem. So we want to make sure that they understand that as well. It used to be in our schools when we were young, and I'm gonna tell my age a little bit, but when I was coming up, we had Arbor Day, where the individuals would come in, they would give us our little trees, and we would go out and we would plant those in our yard. They don't do that as much anymore. So what I wanna do is, we as Keep Jackson Beautiful wanna go back into those schools and get those youth and young adults excited about recycling, excited about the ecosystem and being ambassadors for that. Expand and optimize collection infrastructures. As I showed you, there are some areas, we have 8, but there are some more areas that we need to expand into because one of the main ones, our first ones that we have, there's not one in that area. So that means that individuals are traveling into the city from South Jackson to recycle. So we want to make sure that we're putting infrastructures in those areas where the need is most high. We're going to build and maintain strategic partnerships, and we're also going to monitor, measure, and report our progress. We need to do that because, data is important, making sure that we have those stats and we're able to come to the table to see where we are making an impact or where we need to improve. We're going to create recycling programs for our senior citizens. And then we're going to encourage recycling initiatives and promote diversity and inclusion. We want to go into those neighborhoods that we have not been in, those neighborhoods that are lost, and provide those services. So a special thank you to the Keep Jackson Beautiful Board, our affiliates and our community partners. We want to thank Niagara Bottling Incorporation for allowing us to come here and to be able to speak to you and for your partnership and what you do for us in the community. We also want to thank the City of Jackson and local schools and organizations. And in this picture, in 2024, we just received the President's Award from Keep Mississippi Beautiful. So we took that picture last week. And that's an important award because on a national level, all of the affiliates come together, and it shows that Keep Jackson Beautiful is doing really good things in Mississippi. And I posted my contact information, so if anybody would like to reach out to learn more about Keep Jackson Beautiful, you can reach out, or if you would like to donate, just reach out and we will respond back to you in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bridges. That was fantastic. And thank you. And fun fact, she just got in the door and came and did this. So that's pretty amazing. Literally 5 minutes before we started. We didn't expect her to be here, so thank you so much. Next on the agenda is Margaret Creighton from Positive Tomorrows. She is the president CEO, and I will let her give her introduction. And she does have a video. We're not sure how well it will play, but we'll do our best. So Margaret, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to, as I talk to you, pull up my screen here to be able to show you our video. So it's hard to tell from here. Can everybody see? Excuse me. Can you see my video? Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to get started here. You have to finish.
The image we have in mind of someone experiencing homelessness may be very different from reality.
According to a recent report, the average age of someone experiencing homelessness is now 11 years old.
We think of homelessness as the visible person on the corner with mental health symptoms. Perhaps they have a sign, and that certainly exists. But there is a whole nother large group, thousands upon thousands of family members living in motels behind buildings with that 11-year-old child, with toddlers, trying to make it day by day. And they are not being talked about in the same way when we talk about homelessness.
The two main causes of homelessness are now lack of affordable housing and lack of living wage jobs.
There is just not the stock of housing that is affordable for our families. And affordable meaning they're not spending more than a third of their income on rent.
We all know that the minimum wage really isn't a living wage. It's $7.25 in Oklahoma and has been for over a decade, while a living wage is over $19.
So if you add a child to that, the living wage becomes over $30. It's actually $32 for someone with one child to be able to not spend more than a third of their income on rent. So when you are looking at here in our city at fair market value, renting an apartment that's a 2-bedroom apartment at minimum wage, you would have to work 80 hours a week to be able to afford that apartment. That's just not feasible for any human being.
Over 50% of the families that come to us are working when they get to us, and that means living in their car and holding down a job. Just stop and imagine for a second raising your children, working, but also going back to a car to sleep at night. To me, that is not a person who's lazy. It's quite the opposite. That's a tenacious, resilient person doing everything they can to fight for their child.
Positive Tomorrows is the only school in Oklahoma that serves children and their families who are experiencing homelessness.
Positive Tomorrows is one of the most joyful places I've ever been. The kids are always really happy to be here. They're always really excited about jumping off the bus, coming into breakfast, running down the hall with their friends, getting to learn new stuff. They are just bursting with energy and hope.
The school has classes from early Head Start through the 7th grade. 11-year-old students at Positive Tomorrows are typically beginning middle school.
11-year-olds here at Positive Tomorrows are going on field trips to the movies because they've just completed a new book. They're starting a new band program. They're entering their middle school years and they're trying to learn the new social norms of middle school. 11-year-olds are playing sports. They're active. They're taking care of their little brothers and sisters. Our 11-year-olds are having, a typical middle school experience.
Lettuce is very healthy and it's good. It's tasty. I grew up with this one. I made it go like a little deep. So here and this one. So this one and this one I grew. Yeah, you dig a little hole, put the seed in there, water it, and then make sure it has a lot of sunlight.
We're so grateful to be at a place where we're serving 148 kids. That looks like more than 650 individuals when you add their family members. So with our 2-generation approach, we are serving so many more than just the kiddos that are at our school every day.
The 2-generation approach is about supporting the students as well as their parents or caregivers to ensure a successful and lasting transition out of homelessness.
One of the unique things about Positive Tomorrows is that we have an equally strong family support system or team of case managers and other support staff that work directly with the parents of the children who go to school here. And that is because we realize how important the stability of the household is to the success of that child. These case managers start by doing the enrollment or intake with the parents and immediately start to assess their needs, strengths, and goals. And from that point forward, they work alongside those parents to reach their goals.
While we're doing that, we're also helping them to look at what food do you need and what clothes do you need? What do you need to be okay right now so that we can stabilize right now to look forward at the future, which can be such a luxury for some of our families.
Every year, there are hundreds of success stories at Positive Tomorrows. Successes like former student John and his mom, Mary.
Prior to coming to Positive Tomorrows, I was in an abusive marriage for 15 years. And within that relationship, I endured just about every type of abuse possible. My kids also suffered in that way too. So we were very diminished. My kids and I were living in a homeless shelter. At the time, I knew we needed counseling, and Palomar referred me to a therapist, and her task for me was to call Positive Tomorrows and get my son enrolled. And so I did. I called that day and ended up having a meeting the next day, and my son got to start school with 4 days left in the school year.
John came to our school, and he came to our school for a couple of years, and John became just everyone's friend. He is so smart and he loves to read, loves to play games, loves to wave at us, loves high fives.
He loved learning and he loved to be here. He'd come back from a field trip and he would just gush about how cool this school is and the things he gets to do here.
He's intelligent. He likes to wow you with the facts that he knows. We used to call him a walking encyclopedia because he would literally read encyclopedias in his free time. And he really loves space. Right now he's into speed cubing.
John loves Rubik's Cubes so much that his student film for the Student Film Festival was a stop motion film of a Rubik's Cube on paper being solved. He was very involved in the editing process too. He wanted to make sure that I understood how the Rubik's Cube would move so that I put them together in the right order. And I had never seen anyone make something like that before. He was incredibly proud when it screened for the school. He would tell the children around them, like, I helped her make sure that the Rubik's Cube turned right.
Mary's rise out of homelessness seems amazing how short of time someone can go from being in the domestic violence shelter to now attending college, her son going to private school, and she's even taken violin lessons herself during this time. Her ability to overcome homelessness by taking every lifeline and using all of her own will and efforts to get to where she wanted to be have just been remarkable.
She is so involved in her child's education. She comes to the 5K and she came to, some field trips, and she came to be a part of his educational career. And just to watch them together giggle and hold hands and love on each other has just been a huge joy.
Whenever I'd see Mary in the hallways, she would stop not to talk about herself, but to tell me how grateful she is for her case manager.
Alexis Merriweather is the best case manager. Love her so much. There were times that I just needed adult interaction, and she would encourage me. I wouldn't even be down most of the time, but she would encourage me, and I always leave uplifted and more determined to take care of business. They really do support the whole family, and they give you everything you need or point you in that direction. So there's no reason why anyone can't have a brighter, better future.
Most students attend Positive Tomorrows for 1 or 2 years as their families stabilize and rejoin public school.
We love them and we want to see them succeed. And when you become family with each other, it's hard to see someone leave, but man, it feels really good to watch them continue to thrive.
Positive Tomorrows relies on private funding and donations to operate.
We need your help to make sure that the doors stay open every day, that everybody has a hot meal, that the teachers are able to teach, that they have the support that they need from tutors, case managers, counselors, that families have advocates and case managers to work with them. We need all of those things to make sure that our kiddos have the best experience possible.
It is a worthy cause. Positive Tomorrows sees the people struggling and takes them and believes in them, welcomes them in, and helps them change their lives. Each dollar that you give is going farther than just today. It's going years down the road, generations down the road. This is the investment that makes a difference.
$250 provides a week of fuel for our ever-changing bus routes. $500 will feed 10 of our students for a month. $1,000 is a housing deposit to help our families move out of the shelter. $2,500 is all the supplies we need for all of our after-school programs and break camps. $5,000 pays for contracted counseling services for our kids. $10,000 is a semester of education instruction for a student. $25,000 covers the cost to educate a student all year, plus break camps and after-school program.
I am so grateful for the way that this community shows up for our kids. If there's ever a need, all we have to do is ask. And so many of you show up for them in big ways. And I couldn't be more grateful to each and every one of you for the ways that you invest in our families.
To all the donors and those considering donating to Positive Tomorrows, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love this place.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make it back over here to the screen. So thank you for letting me show that. I think it gives just a very good overview of the programming that we have here at Positive Tomorrows. And as you can see throughout that entire video, there were so many volunteers that were in our space and that were showing up for our kiddos. The volunteers, that every kiddo had a mentor in the video. People were in the classrooms with them. People were playing with them on the playground. And I think Niagara is just the best example of what a partnership can look like, because they're showing up in all of the ways that we need them. So they're not only showing up financially and sponsoring our programming, they're showing up with volunteers, and then they're giving our kiddos experiences. So not only do they take our kiddos once a year to a really big field trip that's so fun. They take them down to the ballpark and have just the hugest field day you could ever imagine. But every field trip that we attend, they are providing water for our kids to take on those field trips. So when you're thinking about kiddos experiencing homelessness, there's a lot of things that stand in their way from normal experiences. A lot of times for field trips for our kids in a normal school, those are days where our kids stay home, or they don't go to school, so meaning they don't get to eat during the day, or they'll make excuses, or they just won't have what they need. So for us, we provide sack lunches for every kiddo, but a water bottle is a really important thing to be able to take with you on a field trip, especially if it's a whole day long field trip. So there's lots of ways that Niagara surrounds our kiddos with so many different supports. You come to our events, I just can't say enough about how wonderful you all are. And Dr. Bridges did an amazing job defining what a great reciprocal partnership can look like. So I won't repeat the things that she was saying, but I think that Niagara really does show up in ways that a lot of companies don't. And I can tell you, as a nonprofit who's worked with a lot of companies and a lot of individuals, it matters, and it's seen and it's noticed, and we're grateful. So, Kevin, I'll toss it back to you there. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer any of those, or talk a little bit more about the work that we do. Totally up to you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful video. And I must say, our team, was it 3 years ago, we did a team outreach to Positive Tomorrows, and they talk about core memories. That's one for me. It's a very neat place. The animal sounds.
In the classroom.
Oh yeah, we had to participate in the animal sounds with the students, and it was yeah, we didn't do too well, but Dorit did. So
Let's hear it. Go ahead. We have time.
No, that probably wasn't even what it was. But anyway, but thank you so much. We appreciate it. So we really only have a few minutes for questions. So I wanted to ask if there's any questions from the room or online. If not, I have a few questions that I can ask, but any online, any in the room? Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bridges, and Margaret, thank you as always. Thank you. 2 of our Niagara Can ambassadors. So yay, thank you for that. I did want to start with Dr. Bridges. I have a question for you first with regards to recycling, and having been in Jackson a number of times. I'm curious, what are your thoughts behind, I know you said that people take a lot of pride in their yards, and I have seen that myself, but what are your thoughts behind why it is that people recycle there? Why do they want to recycle? I mean, we're not incentivizing them to do anything other than just making an opportunity available. So why do you think it is that people overwhelmingly will drive? I know we had an experience where an elderly lady drove from one part of the city to another part of the city just to bring her PET bottles back. Why do you think that is?
I really think it's commitment. Once our Jacksonians buy in and they understand the importance of it, they will go to the ends of the earth to make sure that whatever it is that they are committed to, that it succeeds. And to something that they want to see succeed in Jackson because they know and understand what it does for the environment, what it does for the ecosystem. And they also understand that it's a part of the litter prevention. If they can get those bottles off the ground and they can put them where they're supposed to go, then this is something that they take pride in. So I really think that it comes down to a matter of being committed to seeing Jackson beautiful and being committed to the ecosystem.
And then my second question is for Margaret. Yay. First of all, I just want to tell you, thank you for the shout out to the Oklahoma City team. Whoop, whoop. Yep, got to get that in there with Gus and Carrie and Michelle, all of them. Thank them. And I personally want to thank you because I had so much fun for the second year at Corks and Canvas. I won everything I bid on, I want you to know, and I was relentless with my silent auction efforts. So thank you, especially those Sooner softball tickets. I wouldn't let anybody get those, so, but thank you so much. I'm curious, because you have a very unique program there and that it doesn't receive any public funding. How do you keep that momentum going? We heard a report earlier in our morning here that homelessness and hunger were two of the biggest issues that all of our plant portfolio communities are experiencing. How do you keep the momentum and the interest going to fund? It's a beautiful facility doing beautiful work. And if anybody ever gets a chance, if you're in Oklahoma City, you need to make a trip to Positive Tomorrows. I'm just gonna tell you, you do. But how do you keep that going?
So a couple of things. We are a fully accredited private school or tuition free for all of our kiddos. And that is intentional so that we can serve kids how they need to be served. Examples of that look like being able to give them more food, being able to lean in with more resources. So not to underserve kids, but to overserve kids and lean in where we know that they need specific interventions. So that can also look like additional tutoring and additional occupational therapy, speech therapy, those kinds of things. We don't have to wait any time period. We can go ahead and just get those services done. So we are a private school, and in that means that we have to fundraise for the majority of our budget. So I think that's Darius that was speaking. I can't see your sweet face, but
I wasn't in the square.
yeah. So it has changed a little bit in that we have diversified our funding a tad, and we do receive some state and federal funding now. So we've entered into a partnership with the Department of Human Services to help with some of our case management services. We've also partnered with another local agency, Sunbeam Family Services, for our early Head Start and Head Start programs. So those are federal pass-through dollars that come to us. And then now all of our kiddos qualify for a special education scholarship, which we will start utilizing next year, hopefully if it passes one more committee through the Senate. So we are inches close to hopefully that being a part of the way that we can fund our school, because $5 million a year is a lot of money. And I would tell you that those 148 kiddos that we have every single day looks like a little over 200 a year, because like Mary was saying in the video, John started school 5 days before the end of the school year. So we enroll all year long. So when we say about 200 kids, that's unduplicated kids. We have 148 enrollment spots that we're funding. And then when you look at the entire number in the families, that's where you get that 650 number. But when you're looking at our city, just in Oklahoma City alone, the public schools are counting over 4,000 children experiencing homelessness. So all that to say, we still have a lot of kids that need our services, and not everyone is a fit for our school. We want to make sure, again, like donor relationships and volunteer relationships, that it is reciprocal. There are some families that don't need our services, and that's okay. We don't want to push in where we're not needed, but we do want to serve as many kids as we possibly can. So to your question there, we need to serve more kids, and we need to look in the future as to what that looks like for us. And that's probably going to be expanding our programming, which makes that lift for fundraising even harder, which is why it's super important to diversify our funding base. So all of those things come into play when you're looking at a fundraising strategy.
Our board of directors is amazing, a very active board and very involved in fundraising board. And then we do have a team here of fundraisers. So we do have a team total of 5 people that are helping us to raise those funds every year. So they work hard on a strategy, and then you make the plan and you work the plan. If you're a fundraiser, you know that tactic. So that's what we do, is we just we hustle until we can serve every kid that we possibly can.
Great, thank you. So we probably have time for maybe one question if there's any online or any in the room.
There is a comment online
Okay.
from Patty Patterson. Please tell Margaret that we would like to reach out to her to learn more about Positive Tomorrows. Here in Jackson, we are experiencing more homeless kids in public schools. Great job, she said.
Wonderful, thank you. Any closing? What's that? Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to connect you two. And with that, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this session. And just so you, yes, for closing comment, Dr. Bridges.
I have to stand square. Well, I want to thank you all again for allowing us to come here and talk about our mission and our vision with Keep Jackson Beautiful. I also wanted to talk to you or tell you a little bit about some of the projects that we're doing in our community. One of the Jackson Association neighborhoods, they're getting together and they're redeveloping this park. And when they're redeveloping the park, they're looking for different partnerships and individuals to come in. Well, Keep Jackson Beautiful, or we're going in with volunteers and we're donating plants and our time to go in and make sure that we're doing that. We've also spoke with them about putting a recycling hub there so that the children that come there, they can have their little sensory garden, they can have the flowers that they're needing. They're also going to be educated on recycling. So our Keep Jackson Beautiful has so many different components to it, but we also want you to know that the service and the time that you all are investing in us, that we're investing that into our community. So it's that partnership that is truly important to us, because we're able to give to other organizations and communities in Jackson.
Thank you very much. Yes, so thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause. And at the top of the hour, we do have another session coming up, and it's kind of called Finding Talent in Today's Workforce. So we will break for a few moments to get that tech aligned, and make sure you use the unique WebEx link. Thank you very much. It's my pocket.